Alright guys, welcome to McKola TV. This is the preview of Manchester United's second leg in the quarter-final of the Europa League against Anderlecht. 1-1 from the first leg. Manchester United conceding that late goal in a game that we should have won. A game that felt very reminiscent of Manchester United's league form this year. Drawing games that we should have won, that we've dominated, with them scoring their first shot on goal. Hope you guys are all doing well. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. United tomorrow, in action tomorrow night at Old Trafford. And Jose Mourinho has had his press conference. Just got your comments up on the screen. All right, Sam, Nigel, welcome back. Abdi, Random Gamer Boss, how you doing? Tesso's back as well. Thank you all for getting involved. Shardul says hopefully Anthony Martial starts, and we'll be talking about Anthony Martial a little bit later on in today's preview of the game, as Jose Mourinho was talking about the Frenchman in his press conference. But there is other news to come from that press conference as well regarding the starting lineup tomorrow night at Old Trafford for Manchester United against Anderlecht, in a game that we have to win really to keep alive our Champions League football hopes for next season. The Europa League is probably one of the safer bets into that now, given that we've got 4 games we need to win pretty much to guarantee Champions League football next season. And those 4 games come in the Europa League. One of them against Anderlecht tomorrow, which could guarantee a semi-final against some opposition which we should be beating, really, let's be honest. So let's go on to Jose Mourinho's press conference then. Aidan, thank you for getting involved in the comments. King Farid's watching at 3 a.m. That is dedication. We got Suran Raj in Singapore. Hope you're doing well. Pratulia, hope you're doing well. And he says, let's just take a moment to appreciate Cristiano Ronaldo. He was on fire yesterday. He's been on fire over the 2 legs against Bayern Munich and has hit 100 Champions League goals, with 16 of them coming from Manchester United. Not a bad record, yeah, eh? And that one in Moscow, of course, in the Champions League final in 2008. But he had so many memories at Manchester United. But this is not the Cristiano Ronaldo show. Jose Mourinho has had his press conference and he's been talking about the game tomorrow. And he says Sergio Romero will start, which is good news for me because he's in my predicted lineup in the full-time Devils preview. So that's 1 point on the board. Sergio Romero, who started the majority of our Europa League games, but has also played in the league and in the FA Cup as well, which Jose Mourinho was keen to point out. He said, look, Sergio Romero is not my Europa League goalkeeper. I could very much change it up, but he will start tomorrow night on Thursday against Anderlecht at Old Trafford, and he'll get that game under his belt as well. He's been impressive for Manchester United, kept a fair few clean sheets as well this season. He's performed well majority in the Europa League, but he's played a few other games as well. I think it was Sunderland away. You're looking at Blackburn in the Cup, etc. So Sergio Romero has been a good understudy to David De Gea this season, and I have no problem with him starting. But I think with Jose Mourinho's comments, he's kind of left the door open for that. If we do get into the semi-finals, the finals, then he can call upon David De Gea if needed. How you doing, Kartik? Thank you for getting involved in the comments. Mo, how are you doing as well? Zayn, thank you for getting involved in the live streams. Sorry if you've been busy with work and stuff. Sorry if you do miss the live streams, guys. I know they vary in times. I just do them when I can. Of course, I'm busy with other things as well, but I try and get live as much as possible. Swiss Cheese Feet is back in the comments, and he has one of the most creative YouTube account names, and there's a lot of them about. We win 5 Europa League games home, but conceded 1 at home. I hope Ander Herrera does well against Anderlecht, says Trevor Sen. Ander Herrera with a fantastic performance against Chelsea at the weekend. And do you think he will start, or do you think he will be rested? JMUFC, thank you for getting involved. Ikran, hi mate, how you doing? And he says Romero's still a really good backup and he will start. Jose Mourinho also said Wayne Rooney should return to the squad at the very least, and he should be on the bench. And he said he can bring him on when needed to keep possession, or even go for that goal as well. So he didn't seem to hint that he could start if fit, and you wouldn't expect him to as well with the lack of minutes under his belt. But Wayne Rooney should return to the squad tomorrow. Jones, Smalling and Mata are still out injured, but Juan Mata earlier on this week posted a video of him training. I think it was in the gym, but I don't know whether he's getting back to running and back to all that stuff. It'd be great if he was, because once he gets back running, then hopefully he can get back involved in training. The sooner the better, because even if we can get him back for the latter stages of the Europa League, should we get there to the semi-final, the final, and of course that running as well. We've got some huge games: Tottenham away, Arsenal away, Man City away. If we can get Juan Mata fit for that game, it'd be great stuff. Thank you MUFC 20 times for liking the video, and you guys as well. Please do like the video if you're watching and you like the stuff we're chatting about. Of course, share as well, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're just over 100 away from 30,000. We want to hit that landmark as soon as possible so we can push on for the next landmark as well. And to think, Full Time Devils has over 300,000 subscribers, so surely I can get at least 10% of that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Smalling also recovering, says Nigel, and that guy Marshall straight after in the comments says Smalling needs to go. Smalling has been poor at times for Manchester United this season. It'll be interesting what Jose Mourinho does with his centre-backs next season. I'm sure Bailey and Rojo will still be here next season. Thank you, Renegade, with your 85% record for getting involved. We've got over 100 people here watching live as well. If you're not watching live, then unfortunately you missed us live. But of course, you can still watch and get involved in the debate by hitting the comments in the comments below as well. If you're watching it live, and the comments are usually on the side somewhere, aren't they? Anyway, in my notes here, I've written down no excuses, and that's pretty much what the main topic is today for me. No excuses for Manchester United on Thursday. No excuses at all. Akash, I love it, mate. But sometimes you have to prompt as well. You have to prompt. Don't worry about it. We're getting straight back into the debate anyway, and we're talking no excuses. So 2 simple words: no excuses. United have none. If we do not qualify for the semi-finals of the Europa League, we have absolutely no excuses. We don't deserve Champions League football next season if we do not beat this Anderlecht side at home. We should have beaten them at their ground. We didn't beat them at their ground. We had ourselves to blame for not taking our chances and falling asleep and allowing them to get that header in on goal. What were Darmian and what was Marouane Fellaini doing at that point? They fell asleep. They allowed him in. He scored a goal. You've seen the surprise on the goal scorer's face. You've seen the surprise among the support. They celebrated like they had won the Europa League itself. That goal against Manchester United was a big deal for them. They did a lap of honour at the end of the game. And if Manchester United do not beat this side at Old Trafford, we do not deserve Champions League football. It is that simple. Zayn says he agrees with that. Ozzy says he loves Mickey Herrera and Rashford. Keep the back line strong. Rojo and Bailey have been dominant, says PT. Snapback. We need Champions League, says Chatna. Should be a comfortable 2-0, says Ikran. If we can beat Chelsea 2-0, this should be easy, says Trevor. And that's exactly my point. We need to get rid of this inconsistencies in our performances. And if not in our performances, then our finishing, because our finishing has let us down on so many occasions. It did last weekend. Now, it hasn't so far in the Europa League. It did last week in that 90 minutes on Thursday, but it hasn't cost us anything because we should be beating these lot. That's simple. At home, we should be beating Anderlecht. They dragged us down to their level in that second half. I think in the first half, we played well. We dominated. We didn't do enough with the ball that we had. We could have got another goal or two. We didn't. Second half, they came more into the game. They grew in confidence and they got at it. And we can't allow them to do that at home. We need to be up for it. Hit them from the off. Maybe get an early goal like we did against Chelsea. And we'll be hunky-dory and we'll be into the semi-finals. Because if we get an early goal against these lot will crumble and United will win. Now, as it stands at 1-1, it's finally balanced. Manchester United could be going into the game. They could score an early goal. United could get back into it. Then United could go ahead 2-1. And then, if they were to equalise late on 2-2, they go through on away goals. So that's how finely balanced this game is. We just can't allow that to happen. Isaac says, why don't I do a podcast? I am part of a podcast. It's called United Road, the podcast. We're on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. You can check that out. We occasionally do live streams on McKola TV as well. So guys, check out the United Road podcast. The lads were in the studio yesterday and recorded their reaction to the Chelsea game and their thoughts ahead of the Anderlecht game. Unfortunately, I couldn't join them as I was a little bit busy with work, but the guys, Margs, Bolt and Scribs, got in the studio and made sure we had a podcast. So that podcast is up now on soundcloud.com/United Road Podcast. On iTunes, if you search for United Road Podcast, and make sure you hit the subscribe button on both. I am going to be at the game tomorrow, the Anderlecht game, the quarter-final of the Europa League. I will be at the game tomorrow, 1-1 as it stands, and I'll be there tomorrow. So, what kind of team do I expect to see tomorrow for Manchester United? I'm going to go with Sergio Romero, Valencia, Bailey, Rojo, and I'm going to go with Luke Shaw to come back in that left back. I hope he does. I think I'll put him in my 11 more in hope than expectation, but he seems to be getting pretty much a lot of game time under Jose Mourinho in the recent weeks as well. I know we missed the last game, but hopefully he should come in. Ron, apologies if I've missed your question, mate. Get your question in again, and if I see it, I will answer it. So that's my back five: Romero, Valencia, Bailey, Rojo, and Luke Shaw. Then I'm going with Carrick, Herrera, and Pogba, Mickey, Marshall, and Zlatan. That's my team for this game. So I'd go with Jesse and Marcus Rashford getting a little bit of a rest because they ran their socks off on the weekend on Sunday. Not just that as well. They had quality too, but they did run a fair bit. So I'd go with them two coming out. Marshall, Mickey and Zlatan in the front three. Carrick, Herrera and Pogba as well. Bring in Carrick just behind Herrera and Pogba so Herrera doesn't have to do too much running. But yeah, Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, and then I'd go with the back five. The same in terms of Bailey, Rojo and Valencia. I bring Luke Shaw in at left back, and of course Romero is going to start as well. Matt asks, did I hear Mourinho's questions on Martial? And yes, that was one of the topics on my notes to talk about the interesting comments on Anthony Martial. And the question I've put under that is anybody worried about Anthony Martial at Manchester United? We've had this debate quite a lot this season. Now, 2 weeks ago, we heard Jose Mourinho, I think it was 2 weeks ago, it may have been a week ago, we heard Jose Mourinho say how the injuries have affected his ability to bring the younger players in and out of the team, to give them minutes when he wants, pull them out when he wants and all that stuff. So he spoke about that and the injuries not being able to do that. And I thought Anthony Martial coming out of the team was similar to that. Now, in my opinion, Jose's come out today and said that Anthony Martial is a quality player. He sees him doing well here at Manchester United. He has a great future. He loves him as a talent. But he needs to realise some certain things that Jose Mourinho expects of him. Now, I hope he's not trying to curb his creativity and stuff like that. But maybe it is just tactical. He's spoken about Marcus Rashford this season and how he's learned the tactical side of the game and how he's improved in that aspect. Not just scoring goals, not just his performances. He's been happy with what he's been learning tactically. So to hear that about Martial, I am a little bit worried. I want Anthony Martial to be a big player for Manchester United. But I'm not worried in terms of, is Anthony Martial going to leave Manchester United? And I've put him in my starting lineup because I don't think Jose is scared to play him. I think he just wants a little bit more from him. Ahmed, what's going on? Someone else said I was airing them. The comments are moving quick. Ash, I'm not airing you. I promise. I think Ron wanted an update on the injuries. I did speak about the injuries a little bit earlier on in the video, Ron. But the injuries front, Smalling and Jones are still out. We don't know when they will return. And Juan Mata, he's not back yet, but he has been pictured. He uploaded a photo with him in the gym and stuff like that. So hopefully he's getting closer to a return to training and a return to the starting lineup as well and the squad and all that. It's the same situation with Luke Shaw, says Tesso. Yes, and hopefully Luke Shaw and Anthony Martial, because in those two guys, we've got two players that can dominate that left-hand side of the field for a long time. Anonymous football fan, thank you for getting in the comments. Ahmed is addicted to saying the word pum, maybe because he's never seen, touched or felt one in his life before. Maybe, just maybe. But let's ignore him, guys, and his use of the word. Serge Aurier, says Sam Scholes. Now, we've heard that the rumour here today. Now, I'm not reading too much into it, but two things sprang to mind when I did hear the rumour about Sergio Aurier. He's a decent player, don't get me wrong, but we've got Antonio Valencia. Antonio Valencia isn't going to be dropping to the bench anytime soon, is he? Surely he can be the main right back next season as well. And secondly, would you get a player, just say Sergio Aurier became our main right back, and we had Sergio Aurier and Eric Bailly as our first choice right back and centre back. Now I know big teams have to build a squad, but can you imagine every African Cup of Nations, half of our back four getting ripped out of the side? It'd be difficult to deal with, wouldn't it? So I'm not too sure on that one, but I don't think we'll sign him anyway because of the fact that we have Antonio Valencia. Najomo, how you doing, mate? Everyone, sorry, man, but come on, you know what I mean? At least add something to the conversation. Ibrahim keeps saying, do a Q&A, do a Q&A. I'm answering questions here, so just chuck your question in. If you've got a question that you want me to answer, then I will answer your questions. So get your questions in. Sachin says he's a troublemaker, and you have heard about things like that as well. James Francis says, what's happening with Darmian then? Darmian put in a good tactical performance at the weekend on Sunday. Was it on Pedro, I think it was? He did very, very well. So, interesting. Will he stay though? I'm not too sure. He could be offered guaranteed first team football elsewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to go for that. Jack says, think Fosu will get game time tomorrow. Timothy Fosu Mensah has been coming off the bench a few times recently, hasn't he? And I love the challenge he put in the Anderlecht game when he came off the bench last week. I would like him to get some game time, yeah, and it's been nice to see that he has been getting some game time as the season progresses, even if it is just 4 or 5 minutes here and there. He's getting closer to actually starting a game. King Fareed just asked about Fosu Mensah as well. Hopefully that answers your question. De Gea to Madrid, says Ace-Jack. It could very well happen. I'd be disappointed if it did happen. It could happen, but if it does, we move on, don't we? United's playing a Super Cup if we win the Europa, says Shahid. That would be one benefit of winning the Europa League, wouldn't it? A great pre-season. It's a pre-season. It's like a community shield, isn't it? A pre-season friendly kind of thing against whoever wins the Champions League. I've got a sneaky feeling for a Real Madrid-Juventus final. So could you imagine a Juventus United or Real Madrid United just before the season starts? That would be nice, wouldn't it? But we're still a long, long way about that. MUFC 20 times was going to study for his GCSEs, but then he noticed I was live. Mate, good luck with your GCSEs. We're going to be live for another 5-10 minutes, so of course you can get back to your studies very, very soon. Do I think Man United will win the Europa League, says Hasnain? I do, yes. I do think we're going to win the Europa League, but as I've said on countless times before, anything can happen. Ronaldo for David De Gea, says James. I think the Ronaldo ship has sailed massively, and I don't think he will come back to Manchester United. Now, Suran Raj says, what's my stand on Wenger? Wenger in all day long. De Gea equals Tony Cruz and 16 million, says Ron. It would, if it had to happen, it would be nice, but I don't see it happening. I don't see player swap deals happening. I see David De Gea potentially leaving, but I never see these player swap deals going down. Give us a wave, Adam. How you doing, mate? Thank you for getting involved. If we beat Burnley on Sunday, we can go above City when we play them on Thursday. You think we will win, says man like Nick. I think we'll beat Burnley, yes. It will be a difficult place to go to. Burnley are a decent side at home, but we should be looking to beat those guys, man. Come on, United. And our away form has been a lot better recently as well. Tomorrow's game is so important. If we lose, hashtag disaster, says Race. Bang on, Race. If we lose, it is a disaster. As I was saying earlier on in the preview that we have been doing live here, I've been saying no excuses. There's no excuses for Manchester United tomorrow. We need to be getting the win. Ahmed Arshad, I'm good. Thank you very much, mate. Luka Modric is the definition of world class, says Petulia. I love Luka Modric, and it's interesting. When I went to see Eric Cantona speak live at the Lowry a couple of months ago, I think it was a month or two ago, he was asked who his favourite player in the world is right now, and he said his favourite player in the world was Luka Modric. So one straight out of the, like, just random, but you can understand why he said it, because Luka Modric is quality. Daniel, welcome back. We aren't going to lose, says Afan. A draw could see us go out if it was A 2-2 draw. 1-1 draw sees us go to extra time. Derby to decide it all, says Asim. I don't think so, because we could beat Manchester City in Derby, just say, and then we could lose the next game or two, because we've got some big games after that. So it's not over if we win the Manchester Derby, but it would be a big step towards guaranteeing Champions League football next season. Over 250 people in here right now. Almost 300 people in here right now. Thank you all for joining us. Now, let's say 150 of you guys haven't subscribed yet, and you subscribed right now, then we'd have that 30,000 mark. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe mark. Nigel, is it a record? I think we may have had 300 once, but it is close to a record on Adam McKola TV. When I do the full-time Devils ones, we get about 2K, 3K sometimes, when they go crazy. So that is the dream. But you guys are absolute legends. 273 legends in here right now. Thank you all for joining us. Hit that like button if you love yourself. Hit that like button if you like the video. And we've got over 280 people in here now. So thank you very much. Herrera to do a job on Sane, says Tesso. You know what I loved about Herrera's job on Eden Hazard the other day? What I really loved about Herrera's job on Eden Hazard the other day was that not only did he do a defensive job, and he made sure that Eden Hazard didn't impact the game as much, because Eden Hazard was quiet, wasn't he? Eden Hazard has been fantastic this season for Chelsea. Fantastic. One of the best players in the Premier League, if not the best at the moment. And he was absolutely silenced. And when you say to me, yeah, that Ander Herrera did a man marking job on Eden Hazard, you'd think he hasn't done anything going forward. He's had a defensive job. But no, he hasn't. He was involved going forward. A goal and an assist says that. But not only a goal and an assist, but he played well in every aspect of the game. It was fantastic. I sit towards the back. I think it's second row from the back of the Stretford end. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you, Sam. Nigel. I can't thank you guys enough for getting involved. I love you all. We've got over 300 people in here now. That is definitely a record. Thank you all for getting involved today on the Anderlecht preview. And what I want to know now is, who do you think should start for Manchester United? And what are your score predictions? So get your score predictions in. And of course, get your teams in. Stephen Allison said, James Rodriguez is definitely signing for Man United. That means it's not happening, guys. Come on. You should know better than that. Oh, God. I love Steve, really. Anyway, Che Booth is laughing. That's good. Everyone needs to laugh, don't they? Haydaru's back in the comments. Tesso says he is on fire. Ishan, I love you too. Viva, John, Terry. He retired this week. And you know what was funny, yeah? Called him a Champions League winner. Come on, man. Come on, man. Didn't play in the final, did he? And he almost threw them out of the semi-final. The absolute bellend. First scorer tomorrow. I'm going to go for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You know why I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic will score a goal tomorrow, and I'll score the first goal tomorrow? I think Zlatan will score the first goal tomorrow, because I think he would have been sat on that bench like, yeah, Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, you did a good job today, but wait till I'm back in the starting lineup, bitches. That's what he would have been thinking in his head. I'm not calling them two bitches. I love them too. But that's what he would have been thinking in his head. So, I'm going for him to get the first goal scored tomorrow, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And I'm going for 3-0 to Manchester United. Nigel's saying 3-0 as well. Muller's saying John Terry, Man United legend. You damn straight for that moment in Moscow alone. Terrible if we get knocked out of the Europa. You damn straight it's terrible. It's an absolute disgrace if we get knocked out of the Champions League tomorrow. No Didier Drogba. I'm well, thank you, Yusufa. Yourself, mate. Hope you are doing well. What strikers do you think we will get? Escoe on Twitter. Striker. I think we'll get Griezmann. I think Zlatan will stay, and I'll be happy with that. I don't want to see us sign another number 9 if Zlatan Ibrahimovic stays. Why do we need to sign another number 9 if Zlatan Ibrahimovic stays? We just simply do not have to do that. It's that simple. Right then, guys, my team prediction for the game tomorrow is Romero, Valencia, Bailey, Rojo, Luke Shaw, Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, Mickey, Marshall and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm going for Zlatan, first goal scorer, 3-0 to Manchester United. Jose Mourinho in his press conference today confirmed Sergio Romero will start for Manchester United. Wayne Rooney should return to the squad. Jones, Smalling and Mata are still out. And I'm saying Manchester United have no excuses if we do not qualify for the semi-finals of the Europa League by failing. If we fail to beat Anderlecht tomorrow, there's just no excuse for that at all. No excuses for Manchester United. We must go through. We must play Champions League football next season by any means necessary. Guys, I've been Adam McKola. You guys have been absolute legends. We've had a record-breaking live stream here today on Adam McKola TV. I know it's a small one, but little steps, yeah, little steps. We will catch up with full-time Devils eventually. Guys, I've been Adam McKola. This has been Adam McKola TV. I'm out of here.